Ladies and gentlemen, this next review or discussion is scheduled for one podcast. Join Chris Vint and Mike Lacey as they make up the dynamic team of Wrestleshock.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Wrestleshock Reviews. I'm your host Chris Vint. Unfortunately Mike Lacey isn't here again, but fear not, you'll not get to listen to my dulcet tones the whole way. I do have a guest reviewer to review a special DVD. This one here, I've got a fan request one from my good friend Paul York Spanner on various wrestling forums and live chats, things like that. So I've taken upon myself to do one of Spanner's requests. First one that I'll be reviewing though will be one that thankfully I got from silvervision.co.uk. Everything seems to be fine there now. At the time of recording this, you could do pre-orders for WrestleMania 28 now again. They will be putting up more pre-orders and stuff there. So thankfully, it looks like everything is hunky-dory there. I know it was a bit of a bad time for them. If anything, they helped them clear out a lot of their old stock, you know, with prices heavily reduced. Great to see them back in business. Everything a-okay. I know what it's like from my own point of view. You know, working for Game and the amount of stuff that was happening there, which was just crazy. I didn't have a clue what was going on. So glad to see that everything's sorted out with silvervision.co.uk. One of the best places to go and get your wrestling DVDs or Blu-rays, in my opinion, anyway. And I don't think many people will argue with that. Speedy delivery. I order something on a Wednesday and it arrives the next day, which is just fantastic stuff. Okay, so the first DVD / Blu-ray I'm going to review is this.
WrestleMania, where superstars can solidify their legacies. But to realize this dream, they must go through this structure.
The last opportunity to main event WrestleMania.
An unpredictable environment, born from shattered bodies and crushed souls.
You look on the faces of these superstars, you see fear, trepidation, almost an unknowing of what to expect.
Reminding those who enter that men are merely flesh and bones.
These men are playing Russian roulette with their careers.
A match where the odds against a champion are never higher.
6 times the championship has changed hands.
And survival is just the beginning. Welcome to the belly of the beast. 12 superstars, 2 relentless championship battles.
What are these men willing to go through the headline WrestleMania?
2 matches that can change course at any time.
Only 1 in 6 that you're actually going to be able to win that matchup.
No one knows what will happen.
No one leaves the Elimination Chamber the same.
But at this moment, one thing's for sure.
Championships and legacies will be at stake.
Exit the chamber with the championship. Enter WrestleMania as champion. Tonight, the road to WrestleMania goes through the Elimination Chamber. WWE Elimination Chamber, available now.
Yes, that's right, the Elimination Chamber 2012. Obviously, we have the Royal Rumble, which was one that was done on the last podcast. And this one here, Elimination Chamber. So you have Royal Rumble January this year, also January, February time, depending on whenever it is. Silvervision.co.uk, as per normal, the Blu-ray price is actually, the RRP is $19.99. You don't get it for that, you save £8 off the price, which is $11.99. The code for that is WWEBD1354. Approximate running time 4 hours 2 minutes. If, however, you want to go for the DVD, you actually get it £1 cheaper. You get it for $10.99, and the code for that is WWE1354. So make sure to head over to silvervision.co.uk to check that out. So yeah, some stuff here we'll go over. Obviously, Elimination Chamber, one of their inverted commas gimmick pay-per-views, which they seem to be doing a lot more of now, you know, with Money in the Bank, Hell in a Cell, that kind of stuff. You know, it seemed to be a case of TNA were ones that seem to be doing it, and now it seems to be a case of WWE seems to be utilising that. Thankfully, we only have 2 chamber matches in this, because I think having more than 2 would be a bit much. So the first match we have is Kofi Kingston versus Chris Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler versus CM Punk versus The Miz versus R-Truth for the WWE Championship. Now, going into this, the on the trailer you would have heard before that the belt has changed 6 times at Elimination Chamber, 6 or 7 times. So there was a very low success rate of champions going and defending their belts and then headlining WrestleMania. A pretty stellar one for this here, apart from R-Truth, which I didn't understand why he was in this. I've never really been a fan of R-Truth. Kofi Kingston I don't mind, and obviously the other 4, Jericho, Ziggler, Punk, Miz, their wrestling skills kind of speak for themselves. Obviously this is whenever Chris Jericho's coming back, you know, with his sparkly jacket. Dolph Ziggler's show off CM Punk was the WWE Championship, and The Miz obviously headlined last year's WrestleMania, and unfortunately this was the last time we see him in a big event like that. Obviously we see him in WrestleMania in the Team Johnny thing, but we don't really see him that much now, you know, like he's getting squashed by Brodus Clay and all that kind of stuff. So very good match. Both of these are very, very stellar matches. A couple of things to pick off is obviously Punk retains the belt. He actually comes out of this. He actually starts the match and finishes the match, which is really, really good. The big thing that happens to Jericho is that Jericho eliminates somebody. I think it's R-Truth or The Miz. I can't remember who it is. And Jericho, the doors open and Punk kicks him on the side of the head, and he actually hits the door and falls down and lies down on the ground. They can't get any response out of him, so they have to eliminate him from the match, which was the first time that's ever happened. It's normally a case of, you know, people either hiding back in their chambers, or if it's like the Big Show or someone like that, which we'll get on to later on, you know, they chuck them through the plexiglass, you know, which is bulletproof, but it's not Big Show proof, so maybe they should have a look at that. But yeah, a really, really stellar match there. Obviously the Elimination Chamber, the 2 matches, you know, year on pay-per-view, since it started in, I think we're going to say 2008, 2007. Let's see here. Well, it wouldn't be 2007 because there is no Elimination Chamber, Chris, if you would pay attention. I'm going to say 2008 then, since that started then. It's quite a good pay-per-view thing to do. I would love for them to do Elimination Chamber. If they were to get rid of this, I would love them to do Elimination Chamber match at WrestleMania to try and replace the Money in the Bank match. So we go on then for Santino Marella prepares for Elimination Chamber. Yeah, it's very much like Rocky-esque. However, the music that they're playing isn't Rocky music, it's actually Eugene's music. You could just pick that up, you know. Obviously they've changed it a little bit, and Santino's drinking the full eggs and throwing that up, which was charming. We then see John Cena in the Hard Knocks gym for this here, you know, like a lot of people from OVW or Florida Championship Wrestling, whatever it's called now, you know, just saying that he likes to come in there and relax, you know, if he's had a rubbish day or whatever. We have the WWE Divas Championship match, which is the only time that I've seen this woman in the match, which is Tamina Snuka against Beth Phoenix. But Tamina's music, I don't know why, but it always reminded me of some music from Donkey Kong. I honestly don't know why, but just whenever I heard her music, that's all I can think of was that. Divas Championship matches are what they are. Not something that I personally sit down and watch all the time. There's only been a handful of them that I've actually watched and really enjoyed, and unfortunately this was one that I kind of, whether I was doing something else and just paying it no attention, I honestly couldn't tell you. So we see Santino Marella continues his preparation for the Elimination Chamber, which is him punching a hanging bag of meat, which is just fantastic. Josh Matthews interviews Chris Jericho about him coming the WWE champion. You know, like that's just after he's actually just sitting there and the doctors are shining lights in his eyes and getting no response, and he says that, you know, we'll maybe come back to him later on. John Laurinaitis petitions to become the permanent general manager of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. This is very weird because he comes out with David Otunga, and then Del Rio comes out and says that, you know, he should be the permanent manager of Raw and SmackDown, and basically says that Teddy Long doesn't do a good enough job. Then Mark Henry comes out and says the same. Teddy Long's a bully. You know, he doesn't know one thing from the other, which is very strange since, you know, Ted Long used to manage him, but anyway. And then Christian comes out and basically just says the same thing. This is obviously the lead up to then the Team Johnny versus Team Teddy match at WrestleMania. David Otunga poses, takes pictures and kind of goofs about and puts himself in the picture and all this, which was just good way to waste like 5-10 minutes. And Santino Marella's final preparation for Elimination Chamber, which is him running upstairs. Take with that what you will. Josh Matthews interviews the Big Show. This is obviously before Big Show turned heel. You know, he's still very, you know, like, I'm going to win this, you know. Makes it known of his WrestleMania track record, the fact that he's not been the best, you know, like he always seems to choke at the big events and that kind of thing. So they only have the Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, Daniel Bryan, Santino Marella, which obviously was put in after he won a Royal Rumble after Randy Orton was taken out of that due to him having a concussion. Putting concussions in inverted commas if you want. Big Show and the Great Khali. I honestly don't understand why they keep putting Khali, especially in matches like this, whenever they have other people that they could utilise. You could have put maybe Jack Swagger in this. You could have put maybe Drew McIntyre, who was obviously in the last year's one. You do have some other people that you could have used in this year. Goodness sake, even if you had Santino Marella in this, why not put Zack Ryder in it? But it is what it is. He doesn't really do much. He does a couple of moves, and then thankfully he's taken out, and that's him. Away he goes. A really, really, really good showing here by all the competitors, bar the Great Khali. Big Show usually, you know, dominant in these here. Brilliant whenever Daniel Bryan is actually in his chamber, and the Big Show actually starts ripping the links up above it, and, you know, then dropping down and beating Daniel Bryan up, and then Daniel Bryan actually escapes the chamber because the timers just went off. Wade Barrett, great showing. A real shame that he got injured before WrestleMania, because he was gathering real momentum, apart from his theme song, which I can't stand, but I don't seem to be the only one. Cody Rhodes, great to see him in a main event like this here as well, with some top players. Comes down at the end to Santino Marella versus Daniel Bryan. The crowd is going nuts for Santino and really, really wants Santino to win this match. Unfortunately, he doesn't. Bryan wins and retains the championship to head off to WrestleMania. After he's won that, then Sheamus comes down to obviously make his feelings known that he's going to challenge Bryan for the belt at WrestleMania. Great match. The only problem I have with this and the one before it is one of the participants, whether it be R-Truth or Great Khali. I would put R-Truth in this Elimination Chamber match over Great Khali any day, but That's just the way it is. Then we have Hornswoggle Cuts the Cheese, which is a horrible, should be horrible Cuts the Cheese. Backstage segment with Natalia. I was going to say Natalie there. Natalia cutting the cheese, and just real fart humour going on here. Then we have a United States Championship match, Jack Swagger versus Justin Gabriel. Fair enough, good match. Jack Swagger obviously retains this, and then the ambulance match, John Cena versus Kane. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge John Cena fan. You probably know that. I'm not the biggest Kane fan. Sorry, Chris, if you're listening, who Mr. Big Red 1990 on YouTube. Not a big fan of Kane's, unfortunately. So this was a match that I skipped because I just didn't want to watch it. Very strange that was the one that actually closed the show. So we have some special features. Josh Matthews interviews the winner of the Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Blu-ray exclusive content. Monday Night Raw, Shawn Michaels returns to WWE. John Cena rescues Eve. Non-title match, CM Punk versus The Miz, and John Cena apologises to Zack Ryder. And you also have Randy Orton meets with Teddy Long. Non-title match, Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus, and Elimination Chamber Wild Card Battle Royal, which is obviously the one that Santino wins. But yeah, a good pay-per-view. This would be the best pay-per-view of 2012 that's currently available on the market. The Royal Rumble I watch, and you've heard my feelings. If not, it's on the podcast just before this. This one here kind of is a stronger pay-per-view than the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble match itself was probably, in my opinion, one of the worst Royal Rumbles. Whenever you look at the likes of 2001 or even 2007, which was the most star-studded one, but that's just the way that is. So that's my thoughts on the Elimination Chamber match, and the DVDs, Blu-ray, etc. So I said at the start of the show we had a guest reviewer. Obviously you would have heard on our WrestleMania special, I had an interview with Hayley Stewart, xswantongirlyx on YouTube, or Hayley the Tiny on Twitter. She'll plug herself towards the end of the show. I've asked Hayley, and I've also asked another gentleman whether they would like to be part of Wrestleshock and be like guest reviewers. If it's something you would like to do, feel free to certainly send me an email at vinto316@gmail.com. Even send me a brief 5-minute MP3 file with a review of a DVD that you particularly like. Try to make sure you plug Silvervision if it is available there, or if you're in America, plug Amazon.com, how much it was, etc. Or just send me an email saying, hey Chris, I'm really up for this, I have tons of wrestling DVDs, would you like to give me one to do? I'll certainly give you one to then review. If you want to do that, that's fine. So Hayley Stewart is reviewing a DVD that's close to her heart. So sit back, relax, and at the end of this here, I'll come back and review the DVD that Paul Spanner York asked me to review. So enjoy, guys.
Obviously, she got her start from her looks, but she really had the drive and the ambition to get in there in the ring and just mix it up. She's kick-ass.
Trish's success comes from within. She wants to have it. She loves this business. She's always on the go, always going forward.
I think Trish has a tremendous future in this business. I think she hasn't even touched the surface of where she's going or what she's going to accomplish.
Trish has everything that a sports entertainment fan would want. She is beautiful, she's smart, and athletic, and gutsy. I mean, she's not afraid of anything.
She's already been women's champion a couple of times. I think there's a lot more great things ahead for her.
She's very driven. You have to be driven. And, if you compare her against other WWE superstars, like Rock's very driven. I see that similar trait with Trish.
I think Trish has been wonderfully successful because she wouldn't have it any other way.
The only goal that I want to attain is that I can always go out there and entertain the fans, and I'm constantly challenging myself. Going out there and just entertaining. If I'm doing that, I'm happy. As long as I'm delivering satisfaction, that should be good.
guys, it's Hayley. I'm here to give my very first DVD review today for the wonderful Wrestleshock podcast. And as you may have heard by my entrance theme tune there, it is actually the Trish Stratus DVD. It's Trish Stratus 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Now, I always said my first DVD review I had to do a Diva DVD review. It's really hard to say. So I picked Trish because Trish is such an important part of the Divas division. 7 times women's champion and all that. And also because I don't have the later DVD. So that's what you're greeted by in the menu entrance. Her theme song, it's got this lovely montage, of Trish, coming out to her theme music and some match highlights and stuff in the wee montage. And you have your menu, you have your play, your languages, your extra features. But I just clicked play and went straight into the DVD. Now, the first thing she talks about in the DVD is her family. And it was really nice because they had like her family coming on and talking about her when she was younger. She was always like a tomboy. She used to have tag team matches with her cousins. Just up in the bed. Just throwing them around the bed and wrestling and stuff. And she actually quoted that she watched Wendy Richter, Macho Man, and Hulk Hogan. I think she actually said no one, any wrestling fan at that point, wasn't inspired by Hulk Hogan. He was the big thing then and all that. And then they're talking about how she was always athletic, a tomboy. She used to play football. She always used to be on all these sports. And the family were actually saying how such a pretty wee girl, how she could be such a tomboy. They're sitting going, you're so pretty, you could be doing this and this and this. But Trish just wanted to be athletic. She wanted to do all that. Always got her homework done before she went out. And that's where it led into her going into med school. And then as soon as she completed med school, then a strike happened. They were cutting down jobs and stuff, so she then had to go and work in a gym. So she talked a bit about that and how working in a gym led to her modelling. And I'm sure all the boys know about her muscle mag modelling. I'm sure there's not many who haven't seen those muscle mags. And how she then, as a model, went on to a show called Off the Record, and that's where she started getting involved in WWE, how she was founded on all that. And then she tells some good wee stories, just about like backstage and stuff, and how the first time she was backstage, Mick Foley actually came up and asked her for an autograph, and how she trained with Ron Hutchinson. Now that was really nice because it was nice to see her getting started out in the ring, not just a DVD just throwing you into her first match. It was nice just to see the build up to her actually debuting on TV, not just the debut and then all the matches. It was showing her training outside the ring, all that. And then it went into her debut with Test and Albert scouting them, and then in between the DVD it kept jumping back to wee bits, her backstage, showing my backstage and stuff, and how she chooses her outfits, and how her typical outfit, what she got recognised for was the jacket, the tube top, the cowboy hat and the mini skirt. Everyone at the start, that was Trish Stratus with the cowboy hats, mini skirts and stuff, and then goes on to manage in TNA. And she actually talks about her first promo she cut, which I thought was really nice actually, because you don't hear many of them talking, especially because she was a diva. Most of the divas nowadays don't get a chance to talk, don't get a chance to work on their mic skills. One of the people, actually, I'm just going to jump into normal WWE now, who I think is brilliant on the mic for a diva, is Maxine. Maxine has got an amazing mic skill set, and I'll just say that. But yeah, Trish talks about her first promo and how she was so nervous and how she was so scared and she didn't know what to say and she choked. And how Jerry Lawler actually came to her after and said, you look like you're a deer caught in headlights. So it's nice to see that she wasn't always perfect. She had to work at this stuff, and that she didn't get it right first time round and she had to keep building up. And then there was the Dudleys, the whole Dudley feud, the whole Bubba Trish obsession, and I'm sure all you boys have seen the tables promos, which I ended up cringing at, and I think I actually fast forwarded that bit in the DVD because I was just like, no, this is not for me. But yeah, boys, there's snippets of the tables promos between Trish and Bubba, and on the extras there's the whole promos if you really, really want to watch them. And then it went on to Backlash, Joe the Bubba Kiss and the amazing bump through the table. And she says that was the point where everyone in WWE, WWF saw at that point that she was willing to put her body on the line, like a girl, like a diva, willing to go through a table and take that bump. She said she was sore, but she wouldn't not do it if she went back. And then it went on to the Vince and Trish era and the match with Stephanie, and that was Trish's first single match as in No Way Out 2001, so it's great to sort of see snippets of that. Didn't give you the whole match, but it gave you parts of it. And then went on to some of her more embarrassing moments, such as the bucket moment with Stephanie, getting down and barking like a dog for Vince McMahon, and then the payback at WrestleMania, which was slapping Vince. And then it went on to a different way, it went in a different direction, and she started talking about the WWE photo shoots. Now, I love seeing the WWE photo shoots just because I'm interested in showing their poses and stuff and maybe what outfits they're wearing. So it's nice to not have to think about that, Joe, how they do it. Like, I've always wondered how they do the photo shoots, and these were the ones where, Joe, maybe they were out in this, Joe, at the beach or the sea or somewhere else doing the photo shoots. So it's nice to see, like, behind the scenes, like the photographers there and all the divas. Like, it's really, really nice to hear that, like all the divas talking about Trish and talking about how they always wanted to be on the photo shoot with Trish because she just brought something new and she was always so fun. So yeah, they did that and they went through each diva, and it just kept going back to snippets of Trish Joe posing in different areas and stuff. Now, you boys would really love that. There's a lot of photo shoot montages and images in there that I'm sure you would like. And then it went on to November 2001, which was her first championship match against Ivory. She actually won that match, which gave her her first championship, so it was nice to see that. It was nice to see how she got that first match and how she actually did win in the end. And then she talks a bit about training, which is really good, especially for girls, Joe, who are looking to hear what the trainer like, Joe, what Trish does to keep her body that way and keep her athletic in the ring, and how much she has to go through. And then she hurt her ankle, so it sort of goes off a wee bit and talks about how she coped after hurting her ankle. She wasn't allowed in the ring, she had to rehab it, so she actually ended up being a co-host for the XS show with Coach, and that's how she talked about how that made her more comfortable talking. She said she's really nervous again going into that, but after building that up, after so many months, after hurting her ankle, she really felt that her mic skills had she'd really built them up, and she felt really comfortable talking, and how it made her comfortable in front of the camera as well. And then she goes on to talk about Fit Finlay. Now, Fit Finlay's from Belfast, which is where we are, so I really loved hearing about Fit Finlay and how he trains them and how he helps them out. Again, yeah, it's nice seeing them training backstage and what they do in the ring to train them for the shows. You don't see that very often. We're not allowed to see that nowadays, so it's nice just for them to go through it and show how the girls actually trained, how they spotted matches, how they made up their match choreography. And then there's the 6-pack challenge Survivor Series, which is where she won her first title. And then there's just, loads of backstage segments throughout the DVD, which sort of broke it up a wee bit for me, As much as I loved hearing about everything, I didn't want it all just to be matches, all about her matches and all about this. So it was nice to see the wee backstage segments, where she took us into Diva's locker room, which again, a lot of us wouldn't get to see nowadays because they don't let fans backstage at all. So it's nice to see the Divas locker room, what it's like, and how they're organised in the Divas locker room with drawers and stuff. And then it went on to the big Lita versus Trish saga, with Lita and The Rock versus Trish and Triple H, the whole Triple H Trish moment. Jazz versus Trish, building up the championship, which was a hardcore match, which was brilliant to see. I loved seeing all the hardcore because that was some of the most amazing stuff with the girls. And then Molly versus Trish, one of the persons she said she felt most comfortable in the ring with. And then it went on to Victoria versus Trish, and that was them getting hardcore, and that was the first chair shot a woman ever took. And it was the very first hardcore match for the women's title and the first ever women's street fight. Now that match is amazing. I believe they have it on the match list on the DVD, and if you get a chance to watch it, it's an amazing match. It just shows how much the women could do and that they could keep up with the men. Like, I really enjoyed that match, so definitely, if you don't have the DVD, check it out on YouTube, or if you can just find it, just watch it, because it's absolutely amazing. And then it goes back and Stone Cold appears, and he's joking with Trish, which is really nice to see, because mostly it's just about her, and yeah, maybe you have a few of the divas talking, but it was nice just to have a backstage segment. Joe, out of character, Joe, she's not Trish Stratus, this Joe, the women's champion, she's just there with Stone Cold, and they're joking and making Booker T references, Joe, fat time, and just him giving her honest advice. And it was really nice just to see a nice honest meet up backstage where they're just talking and joking, and it's not really for the camera, it's just them talking. And then they have the WrestleMania, Joe, they go into WrestleMania 18, it's in Toronto, it's Trish. So yeah, it was really nice to see all that. And then she just goes on to talk about matches, and Joe, she's pretty honest when it comes down to her talking. She does tell it like it is. So she says, yeah, because of WWE, I did get a lot of opportunities. So she's not gonna lie. So she got Mad TV. She got into Mad TV, which was hilarious, just in that segment of the DVD. And then how about Toronto, Canada, how she got on fashion magazines in Toronto, Canada, how she was voted one of the top women in Toronto, Canada, and how she got into the Much Music Awards. That was with Chris Jericho, and I believe there's a funny part on the extras as well about Trish and Chris, and then talking about how she got Diva of the Decade, and shows you a wee snippet from that. And then it went on to Fan Access, and it was great seeing Fan Access again, because to WrestleMania and me going to WrestleMania, so it was really nice to see Fan Access and just her interacting with the fans talking about her. Joe signing autographs, giving hugs, just talking. It was nice just to see her out of her shell again. And then it goes on to see Joe to get thoughts from all the other superstars, such as Mick Foley, Stone Cold, Jerry the King Lawler, Joe, all those ones. Ron Simmons, just talking about Trish and giving again their honest opinions on her and what they think. And then just at the end, there's some nice wee words from Trish about achieving her dream and Joe, don't give up and stuff. So that was the main DVD. There's a lot in there, and I've probably talked about most of it, which I'm really sorry about. But you really do have to see it to get what I'm talking about, if you know what I mean. But there is some extra features. There's Trish moments and promos. There's table tips, which is the Bubba and Trish stuff. Trish and Triple H moments. The hot tub, where she's talking to Mr. McMahon, and more. And then there's the Trish matches, which is the mud match with Stacy Keibler, the Chicago Street Fight with Victoria, her WrestleMania 18 match, versus her title match versus Jazz at Insurrection. There's also some special features, such as her house tour, which is really nice. It's nice to look around her house and see where she actually lives. Not that I'm going to go stalk her, but it is nice to see how a WWE diva lives and what she has in her house, what she collects. And then there's Internet Babe of the Year, 1 and 7, and then there's her Raw magazine shoot, which is also really nice, and her SummerSlam commercial, which is, if you guys remember, I'm sure you guys remember, she's in the ice cream truck and she asks 1 scoop or 2. And then there's some more, and that's just Diva of the Decade speech. It's just her acceptance speech, which is really nice. Behind the scenes at Much Music Awards, which is hilarious. It's with Chris Jericho, and I believe they're opening gift packages. There's Mad TV behind the scenes, which is very funny. There's Lola, Terry, and Ron telling stories about Trish, which are nice insights into Trish's life and how she was a diva and stuff, and what everyone's opinions were on her. And then the last one is the making of the DVD, which is quite nice. So yeah, guys, that's my full review for Trish Stratus' DVD. The extra features are brilliant. I love the special ones as well, especially the house tour. It's really nice. And the DVD, I just really loved it because it really gave me a better insight into Trish Stratus, 7-time women's champion. I wish they'd bring out a new one just to sort of highlight her career even more. I know they probably won't because WWE doesn't really like their divas, but it's a great wee DVD just to watch quickly on a Friday night or over. Seeing how things went down, the backstage segments were a great insight on what joy it is behind the scenes, especially her moments with her moment with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was really happy to see that. So yeah, guys, that is it. I hope you pick up the Trish Stratus DVD. It is a cute wee thing, and I'm sure the boys would love most of the stuff on it, such as the hot tub scene, the photo shoot montages, and all that. So yeah, I'm Hayley. If you want to, you can follow me on Twitter if you have any questions or want to hear more about the Trish Stratus DVD. I'm at Hayley the Tiny, and Hayley is Hayley, and you can also message me on YouTube. I am xswantongirlyx. I don't do DVD figure reviews on there, but I do collect figures and I do talk about a lot. Actually, I do figure, and maybe I'll start doing DVD reviews. Whoever knows? If this goes down well, I'll do DVD reviews online, but it's not really my thing. So yeah, keep in tune and enjoy Wrestleshock. The guys are amazing, and yeah, have a nice day, guys, and I shall see you all soon. Bye, guys.
One situation that I hear a lot about, even now, 20 some odd years later, whatever it was, where we actually rented a camera crew.
Paid him with the understanding that it wasn't going to be pretty, and explained why he was there shooting it, kind of like from the backseat of a car, waiting for Dusty's car to go by, and then we followed him.
And we followed Dusty down to Jim Crockett's office.
It was like a hit. I mean, it was like they were making a hit on a mafia, ahead of the mafia, you know, so pull in.
Dusty jumped up.
And I get jumped.
They ambushed him and pulled up in the parking lot behind him where he couldn't get out, and then basically mugged him.
And they started whipping on me like crazy.
And we proceeded to beat the hell out of him and broke his arm that time. Tied him to a truck, baseball batted him.
We blacked out the screen.
Yes, so welcome back, folks. Just decided to put in there the trailer for the DVD that I'll be talking about now, which is Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen. One that's been out for quite a while. Well, 2 years thereabouts. No, 2007 actually. Beg your pardon. Yep, brilliant DVD. Obviously this is the third kind of autobiography one that we have Ric Flair in. Well, second, sorry. We have the Ultimate Ric Flair Collection, which is just like kind of his history of matches. Nature Boy Ric Flair Definitive Collection, and then this here, which is this fantastic set. We hear from pretty much all incarnations of the Horsemen, which I'll touch on in a minute or two. So we kind of start off with there's just different chapters here. Obviously it's a 2-disc set, so with that there you can actually have some matches and stuff like that from NWA to WCW. Obviously the Four Horsemen were never a part of the WWE. The likes of Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard were as the Brainbusters, but as a collective whole, the Four Horsemen were never there. So we have Ric Flair discovers Arn Anderson. So just the fact that whenever he saw Arn wrestle, you know, like he thought very highly of him. Obviously, still does today. Got him called up to NWA. And that's wherever they said that even Ollie Anderson commented that the fact that he looked like a younger version of himself, so that's how they came up with the surname Anderson. I very much like the fact that Rob Van Dam was called that there because he looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme, that kind of thing. Then Nature Boy Ric Flair's family ties, a new ally Tully Blanchard. So we see Tully getting more involved into the tagging with them. You know, like sometimes Arn and Ole would tag, and occasionally they would have Tully as the third man. That way they would actually they actually knew that they were gelling well together. It was something that then it could put a lot of money on, you know, that they seem to flow well together, and adding Ric Flair to that mix obviously seemed to pave the way, you know, for our future with the likes of DX, NWO. Jim Ross makes a comment that without the Four Horsemen there'd sure not be any NW or D-Generation X, which is a fair comment. Villains unite against the rising heroes, so that's kind of against Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, sorry I was going to say Magnum PI, but they didn't fight Tom Selleck. Against him, he was an upcoming star, had a terrible car accident which unfortunately ended his career. You see him talk on this, and there's another set, I think it's the NWA one, if I could find what it's called. Right, well anyway, moving on, kind of go on against him and Dusty Rhodes. Spectacular Legacy of AWA, that one. Him and Dusty Rhodes kind of team up as well. American Dream Destroyed, you would have heard there. There was a little clip beforehand of Arn talking about the inverted commas hit that they did on Dusty Rhodes outside Jim Crockett's office, which it's certainly times have changed from then to now. The likes of that there you wouldn't get away with nowadays, and if you did there would be a lot of parents or whatever complaining to the wrestling companies. Enter JJ Dillon. JJ did everything for them, you know, booked their flights, you know, booked their hotels. He was truly what a manager was. Very articulate man, added something extra to the group. Very much like the Road Warriors had Paul Ellering. This was their version of that, you know, like in JJ Dillon. He was Tully's manager first and foremost. I think once Tully got rid of the female manager, whose name escapes me. The creation of the Four Horsemen. So that's whenever they were all doing a interview, and Arn said something like, you have to go back to the you know, to the apocalypse, you know, whenever the Four Horsemen of the apocalypse, and put up the four fingers like I'm doing now, like you all probably are, or maybe not, and said about that there. And Tony Schiavone said, you've just stumbled across something, you guys named yourself, and it fits, it's cool. And it wasn't a case of, you know, like it didn't come out of an office, it didn't come out of anyone else, it came out of Arn Anderson's mouth, and that's how they came up with the name the Four Horsemen. Very, very cool name, has to be said. The original gang they just talk about, obviously the four of them, you know, like they were best friends, they travelled together, they partied together, etc. You know, I think Flair said that he was travelling for maybe it was like 320, 340 days out of the year. And obviously he had his young son then, so you know, led a very carefree lifestyle. But Flair comments that, you know, like if he was making $500 at a show, he spent $700. You know, he was spending more money than he was actually making. But you know, it just went with the lifestyle, that kind of thing. Which was the lifestyle of the Horseman. Ole out, Luger in. Ole was kind of not around as much, and kind of replaced him with Lex Luger. If you listen to What a Maneuver podcast, all they say about Lex Luger is he was in terrific shape. Moving on, Ric Flair and Precious. This is whenever Flair, something to do with he wants them to become the manager or something, or he wants to go on a date with her, and if he wins a match or something, that'll happen. And it's quite a funny segment that he's in a hotel room with JJ Dillon. JJ's going to hide in the cupboard or the wardrobe and not make a noise, and you see the silhouette of a woman coming in, and he goes to take the jacket off the woman and turns around, flattens Flair, and it's Ronnie Garvin, rugged Ronnie Garvin as we'd soon be known, and then chases JJ out to the pool area where JJ falls and gets pushed in the pool. War Games, this is where you see JJ get, I can't remember who it was, whether it was Luger who turned on the Horseman, I can't remember. Maybe it was after that. But JJ lands awkwardly and he has still like a bump on his shoulder. So this is obviously War Games that had like Legion of Doom, that kind of, or Road Warrior story. Sorry, so we're knowing them. Arn and Tully, the tag team, winning the tag belts. You know, you would have them. It seemed to be in a monopoly, very much like Evolution later on. You know, it was a case of they would have like all the 4 belts. Lex out and Barry Windham in. Barry seems to be one of the unsung heroes with the Four Horsemen. Obviously, now it was a case of at WrestleMania 28, the night before in the Hall of Fame, he was one of the 4 inducted in the Hall of Fame, which was good to see. Very underrated. Obviously, you still had your main 3 there, and Flair, Arn and Tully, and Barry Windham. Arn and Tully then leave to go to WWE. Troubled times, you know, like there's a lot of whenever Flair was in WWE, then as soon as they came up, he didn't know they were coming, and he went back and just kept missing each other. Then Kendall Windham, became a Four Horseman, which really didn't. Unfortunately, from now on, there's maybe 1 or 2 that fit in, but you know, since Ollie left, they haven't really. Since Barry, you know, there's been a case of they haven't really found somebody then to, you know, to steady the ship, as it were. With Ric Flair being the nucleus, you know, once Flair went to WWE, Four Horsemen were kind of done. They didn't really carry on without it. JJ Dillon leaves, which then leaves the door open for a Hiro Matsuda to come in. Flair says he was a lovely fella, but didn't speak a word of English, and terrible booking. This was done by the booking office, the bookers, which was terrible. Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat. You all know about Ricky Steamboat, his rivalry with Ric Flair, how great they are. If you haven't, either buy the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, A Dragon Story, or whatever it's called. I should really look at these before. Ricky Steamboat, the life story of the Dragon, or the ultimate, the definitive Ric Flair collection, and watch a couple of them. Masterclass. Sting then joins the Four Horsemen, but it's kind of done as a swerve. He joins the Four Horsemen, and they're Flair and Sting are teaming, and then Flair turns back on them. Sid Vicious then joins, and this is just terrible. Arn gets stabbed, something like 16 times by Sid Vicious. Double A has to be taken to the hospital and stuff, and just horrible, very egotistical man, just out for himself. Obviously, if you're in a group, you should be watching each other's back. That's what teamwork is all about. But it's a horrible time. Not one of the worst Four Horsemen, and we'll touch on the other one later on. That's obviously the Arn and Sid confrontation. Arn versus Flair, kind of have the two fight each other, ends in a good match. Four Horsemen 1996. You have Paul Roma join the Four Horsemen, which I think it's Flair, Arn, Roma, Windham. I think it's that. Paul Roma, Even Triple H says the job guy from WWE, Four Horsemen, what? And, even Gene Okerlund says, whenever you're putting stuff up in space, or time capsule or whatever, you're going to go Flair, Anderson, Blanchard, Wyndham, ... Paul Roma? I go like, no, I don't think so. In fact, it was Double A that said that, sorry. But Paul Roma, just basically trash talks about Flair and says that, he didn't want to walk around pulling his underpants around. Sorry, Rick, I wasn't like that, and just made fun of his age and things like that. Jeff Jarrett was in the Four Horsemen, terrible. Orange Retirement, which was, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig taking his spot, and then that again is a swerve to do with the NWO and Eric Bischoff. There's a whole big section here to do with they're in Greensville, North Carolina. Flair, or at this time it's what's his name, Mongo McMichael or whatever he is called, the announcer. He's in it. JJ's there, Benoit's there, Malenko's there, Arn's there, and they're talking, and then they introduce Flair. Flair's very emotional, as you've all seen in probably his Hall of Fame or anything. He's there. Bischoff comes out and says, you're done. Just basically would use the Four Horsemen very sporadically, feud with a couple of people and then put them away again, bring them out, put them away again, so they never really gained any momentum. And then that was whenever Flair wanted to break up the Four Horsemen because there wasn't any need for them. He was actually had left, I think he was out there on a suspension or something like that, but it's a really, really good DVD to watch. You have things like extra matches, and different promos. So you have War Games, Four Horsemen versus Dusty Rhodes, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Lex Luger, Nikita Koloff, and Paul Ellering. I think it was Luger that messed up JJ Dillon's shoulder. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard versus Sting and Nikita Koloff. Arn Anderson versus Ric Flair from Fall Brawl in 95. So yeah, a very, very good set there. Paul's asked me to do another DVD, but I think that'll probably do it for now, since this is going to be near enough an hour long. You'll be finding, folks, that we're trying to crank these out. If I don't get stuff from Silvervision, I will be just reviewing some older DVDs, say like Royal Rumble 2007, that kind of thing there. What I'll be doing then is putting it up on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, my channel is Vintomania. I do like just videos, like if I've got DVDs through, or if somebody's asking me, like I know Martin Steins was asking me to do my top 5 excuse me, I'm bored of myself, top 5 autobiography kind of DVDs, which I've yet to do. So the time of recording this, maybe I've done it. But yeah, these are being recorded and then putting up quite later, so I might put them up on YouTube. I might actually put this one up on YouTube today, with Hayley's interview or review there. But as I said, any DVDs you want to see reviewed, head over to Vintomania. You can see my collection there. Any DVD you want me to have a review of, certainly do that. Obviously, Roy Bradfield asked for the Mr. Perfect one, which I did. Paul York asked for this, so for the Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen, so that's no problem. If you are on Twitter, you can follow the show at Wrestleshock316. You can follow myself at Vinto316 and Mike Lacey at MLacey91. Also Hayley the Tiny on Twitter, and xswantongirlyx there as well. Before I go, if you are a fan of art and stuff, and if there's different people, I know there's a lot of people that love the collecting, like wrestling art. Hold on while I try to bring it up here. I should be more prepared, but apologies for this. I didn't know I had so many tweets here. That's not it. There's a gentleman on Twitter who posts some pictures of his really good drawings, does commissions as well. If you want to get in touch with him regarding that, you can certainly do that. His name is Rob Schamberger, and if you want to follow him on Twitter, it's at Rob SCHAMBERGER, or you can go to his website www.robschamberger, that's ROBSCHAMBERGER.com. Have a look at his art there. He does, as I say, he does commissions. Tell him Retroshock sent you to him. You never know, you might get a discount. I'm not saying you will, but you never know. But yeah, any DVDs you want to see reviewed, let me know. That'll be fine. Stay tuned on to Operation Retroshock feed with myself and Alan Price, are doing reviews there, review of video games. Obviously we'll probably do an E3 one as well. So yeah, stay tuned, a lot more coming on. Thanks very much for listening, guys. Hope to join you all in the ring next time for another episode of Wrestleshock Reviews. That's it, I'm out of here. Peace!
It defined hardcore.
Oh my God!
ECW, the small renegade organization that changed the face of an entire industry forever.
We're gonna break every rule in the business!
Now, re-enter the land of extreme with ECW Unreleased Volume 1, a collection of brutal battles from the infamous ECW arena never before released to the public, including over 20 full-length matches.
Frog splash! Good night!
ECW was innovative. It was game-changing. It was the battleground of extreme.